Okay, well, there we go. I actually thought of an intro for these at one point, and then promptly forgot it. So, it was like something like, hello everyone, this is Robert from Relentless Undead. I think that's where I was going with this. But, yeah, until we actually start doing stuff that isn't a podcast, really this works quite well. At least I think. So today will be because if you can't read the thing on your screen, you can't read the description, which is saved there. I will now say it. This will be a spoiler review. We will spoil the crap out of it. So if you haven't watched it, pause this, watch it, come back, unpause, because you can't really watch it if you don't want to pause. So, we're going to be talking about Star Trek Picard. The TV series that aired...
January 23rd.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
2020. In case you're watching this really hard in the future. So yeah, these are, again, our opinions, so... keep that in mind, but, okay. So, even though I watched it on Friday, so it's not like we're going to be able to go over every single detail. But, it was interesting when we first started watching it. We actually had to pause it because when they first show Picard, and his housekeepers. Tammy's like, are those Romulans? I'm like, I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure it's the eyebrows. She goes, I'm pretty sure they are because they're too freaking cheery.
Oh my god, they're showing emotion.
But yeah, we can start with I guess we could start do you want to start? I know, we're all over the place. This is kind of the first review one, so we'll get that under wraps. Do you want to start from the beginning of the show and slowly move?
Sure.
Okay, so the beginning opens up, if memory serves me correctly, with her and her boyfriend, and they're talking.
After his weird dream sequence?
Yeah, I guess it's his weird dream sequence first.
His dream sequence first.
Okay. So his dream, I thought it was her, then the dream sequence. Because the dream sequence, he wakes up and then it goes into... But, okay, well... We'll go with her first, because that's where I want to go with. Then we'll go with the dream sequence. So, with her... there's nothing really special there until the fight scene.
Yeah.
Though I didn't really like him. I don't know why. It just... he was like a cool little alien thing. But it's just his eyes, which she thought was attractive, annoyed me. Because of how many times, how it looked like it emphasized him blinking.
Yeah.
And you probably didn't like the sound.
Maybe there was the correlation of the two of them together. But yeah, it was like the emphasis of him blinking. It was like, okay, you can stop that. And of course, then the soldiers come and she, goes into, super soldier freaking, thing. Anything else you guys want to add to that? Or apparently this is going to be me talking, stating my opinion, and then them agreeing and moving on.
Well, I thought they picked a decent actress to, mimic the style of what Data's daughter was in Next Gen.
Yeah,
I don't remember her at all.
I actually looked up a picture of her. Because when later on in the show, it gets... Oop, I just punched the table. Cool. Later on in the show, it actually emphasizes that, and we'll get to there. So, yeah, I looked up a picture of her. But then it goes into his dream sequence of him playing with Data, the card game. Which, honestly, the only part of that made sense was it was supposed to indicate that he misses his friend, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And that the whole scenario with Mars. But my problem is that I don't remember this scenario with Mars. I think this happened in between movies.
Yeah, between the last movie and the beginning of this show, is what I would guess.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I kind of wish they would... maybe they'll do it as it progresses. Kind of went over it a bit more. But, because it's this huge thing that's there. And then he gets up, hangs out with number 1.
His dog.
Yep. Which I thought was kind of amusing.
Yep.
He just needs to call someone number 1. Then there was the Tammy was saying about the Romulans. I knew that he was going to be on before he actually went to his window, I knew it was going to be a vineyard.
Yeah. Oh, that's always been where he retired to.
Well, it was the concept that I remember him talking about doing that.
Yep.
That his family owned a... And you haven't got there yet in the show, Tammy.
No, but I'm pretty sure he's at least mentioned it once as far as I am in the series.
It's something he does bring up every once in a while. His brother ran it or something like that.
Yes, maybe. Yeah, well... It was a family business at the very least.
Yep.
Then there's the interview.
Yeah.
Which Tammy was... Yeah, you can voice your opinion.
Oh, I disliked the interview sequence because, I don't know, it's just breaking your word and stating that you're not, oh, I'm not going to ask these questions, and then you go and just do it anyway. It's like, no, you can just get out of my house. Like, I was just waiting for Picard to snap, but of course he's Picard, he doesn't do that. But I was just like, oh, if that was me. Oh, so frustrating.
But it's just interesting in the whole scenario of it that, you know, he saved all these Romulans, and then Starfleet basically was like, nah, afterwards.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I got from that, at the very least. And it doesn't sound like the normal Starfleet. So it's, well, I guess we'll see how that progresses.
Yeah.
But, then it's, her showing up at the farm.
The vineyard, yeah.
Yeah. I could be wrong. This is kind of something that deals with later on. But I could be wrong, but I don't think once she ever brings up having a sister.
Nope.
But later on in it, her twin immediately brings up having a sister.
Yeah.
Like, it was so weird to me.
Yeah.
That when asked about the necklace, she said that her father gave it to her. Never brought up the sibling. Or the other one, some random guy asks, and she immediately brings up her sister. So, I thought that was weird in the overall scheme of the show.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is because they're raised in different quadrants. Is that she was raised with the truth while the other one was concealed.
Yeah, but then it's weird because then the other one knows information about her sister that the other one doesn't. Mm-hmm. It's
not the first time they've done that in shows and TV, and movies and whatever.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I don't know. To me, it felt weird going with the whole realisticness of it, of them trying to be, going with the idea that they've been raised together. That one of them would just not have knowledge of the other. But anyway. Then it's Picard going to having his secondary dream.
Yeah, which is again, this time it's Data in the vineyard.
Yeah, there's only one problem I have with that. Though it's got nothing to do with actually real stuff. When Data hands him the brush, you would never paint a face with that brush.
Yeah.
Like, that is a way too thick of a brush to be painting a face with. But anyway, then he goes to the other painting, and that's when I looked up the daughter.
I thought it was neat because Picard went to Starfleet Archives or whatever it was, and the amount of security he has in that room is kind of insane. Like, the AI or whatever is not allowed past a certain point unless he calls for her.
I think that's kind of like a safety deposit box.
Yeah.
Kind of idea. I think it's not just him. But it is interesting I didn't actually catch it until later on that he's actually an admiral.
Yeah.
I think it was actually after that point that
Well,
someone calls
they
him
don't
an
really
admiral.
go into his rank.
They did it in the interview.
Yeah,
she
would have
addressed him
mentioned-
as such.
Yeah,
he
okay.
he said former, retired.
See, that was the thing, is I didn't hear her say admiral. Maybe it was just because I didn't hear her say it. It was later on one of them calls him an admiral. One of the, I think, of the Romulans. And I was just like, oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah.
But, or no, maybe when he's saying it to her. But anyway.
But anyway, I thought it was kind of neat, and
Picard Day?
the effects, like his...
Yeah. One of the banner on his wall. Happy Picard Day or something like that. I was like, hey, there's a spoiler for you later on, Tammy.
I thought it was really neat, the security on the painting itself.
Yeah.
You know, it had to be beamed in. Then they had this weird protective cover over it, and that was kind of neat.
I think the beaming in part is the fact that it's actually in a drawer, and instead of opening up the drawer, it's just you transport it.
Yeah.
But the covering was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he did that, when he opened it up, I actually thought about Daya's daughter from the show, and I looked her up. And yeah, Tammy was stating she does look kind of similar. The hairstyle is kind of like less
conservative, more
natural,
realistic and natural looking. Yeah,
like because the daughter looks very robotic with her haircut, where the girl looks like she has the same haircut but looks more natural. And then
the one thing that kind of bothered me, and I don't know if it's, she's at, like, when the girl's talking to Picard, she tells him, you know, people are after her and whatever else. Asks, you know, do you believe me? Well, I believe that you believe that this is going on. Kind of cop out in my mind.
well, the concept is that
It's very overused in my opinion.
yeah. But yeah, I think it's though that saying is meant to state that I believe that it's supposed to kind of be like I believe you're telling the truth, but at the exact same time, it's
Well,
like
I believe that you believe that you're telling the
I'm
truth.
trusting. I'm putting trust in you. I think it's kind of the concept. Because again, I think she said that she didn't know why, and stuff like that. And it's kind of the concept that deep down inside she did know. She was just hiding it from herself.
Oh.
But nonetheless, then of course she meets up with him. They have a small talk. They're attacked. They're attacked by Romulans. Which, my only major problem with that whole scenario is, I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've watched a lot of the Star Treks. But I could have swore that one of the Star Treks stated that they had, like, force fields around certain things. So you couldn't even, like, teleport without, like, authorization codes.
Yeah.
Within a certain amount of distance from things. And you would think that a facility like that would be one of them. The archives.
Yep.
And not just that, but what you find out after the fight scene and her dying. Which, her dying bothered me a little because
I felt that was pretty cheap.
the Romulan apparently had some kind of super potent acid in its mouth.
Yeah. Or
And
something.
somehow spat it out.
from what it sounded like, it was like his blood was acidic when it hit the atmosphere. So when he was in his dying breath, because he had a gut shot or whatever, he spit it out at her.
Well,
onto the gun, but
see, that would have made sense-ish if it wasn't for the fact that when you see it, he's actually got burns around his face. Like if whatever the poison is already affecting his face before he even spits it out at her.
I wasn't sure if that was like his blood that he spit or whatever. If it was, maybe they're not all Romulans.
Yeah.
It could be a mixture of different species who all have the same goal.
Yeah. Well, he looked Romulan to me, but again, I guess we'll see. But Yeah, I think it's some kind of like acid spit thing that they have, like some kind of capsule. It's probably going to be what it is. Like, cyanide.
Cyanide pill,
Yeah, it's cyanide, but it's acid.
Yeah.
But the weird part is the fact that after he spits it at her, the gun blows up and all like that. People go there and no security camera has seen them at all.
One of the most secure places on the planet, and no one has seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets a little weird. Like, they have that kind of level of cloaking technology around you. It's interesting, at the very least. Because it just then looks like I would love to see that scene all done with just Picard. Like, what would it look like?
Considering he didn't do any of the fighting. So it would have been a lot of bodies getting flung around by nothingness.
No, there's no bodies. The bodies actually disappeared too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that was the weird part about the security camera, is apparently the Romulans and her were cloaked.
Then Picard would have got flung at some point by nothingness.
No, the explosion should have still been there.
Yes, but he got flung by, I think, her. She said to stay back or something.
No, I don't know, but it was also the fact that at one
one of
point
them
he's
hit him.
talking to nothingness. But nonetheless, it's a little weird, the whole scenario, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's him waking up,
Yeah. Back at home.
and then him saying he's going to do something finally.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the Romulans, which I knew it was Romulan ships immediately,
Yeah, for sure.
because they have that interesting look of bird.
Yeah.
I got that from the video game, the Star Trek Online.
Okay.
When you're a Romulan, you get your bird of prey. And basically it's a flat ship with like a little bird underneath it with its wings.
Mm-hmm.
And its wings are in the same...
Yeah.
So that's how I knew it was them.
Yeah.
And then she starts talking. And again, it was weird that she just opened up to this random guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he kind of opened up to her first.
Yeah, but it's just still weird that she opened up, to a random guy like that. That she brought up her sister immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what it made her sound like, she was in the medical field for, like, either she was, like, a therapist or she was, like, an actual medical doctor, like...
It almost sounds like she was some sort of, like, therapist.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you hear this all day, you don't want to hear it from me, kind of idea.
I also realized we jumped over a scene.
Okay.
So, right before this, it's actually him going to the science facility. After he wakes up, he goes to the science facility where they deal with AIs.
Yeah.
He talks to the girl.
Where you find out that... That's where you find out that she has a sister.
Yeah. And then it goes to the sister.
Robots.
Yeah, that they make twins.
And that the entire robot department was pretty much
Shut down.
down,
it's
and
weird.
it's all theoretical.
They shut it down. The lead scientist goes missing, and they don't think about maybe looking into that?
Nah.
Like...
Yeah.
Like, that's a typical 100% freaking, thing. The guy who's spent his entire life doing this, he, gets told he can't do it anymore, so he walks away with, and makes it himself in a secure lab by himself.
Yep.
Like, that's 101.
I'm gonna make my own robot lab with blackjack.
But I'm also kind of confused on why they couldn't bring back Data. Just like Data himself, I understand, but they should have the genetics, or at least the stuff from his brother. You would think,
Lore?
anyway. Yeah. So unless Lore does die and I didn't realize it, because I know Lore dies in the show once.
Yeah.
He gets shut down, but
No.
he comes.
He gets eaten by the crystal creature.
Oh, he comes
The
back.
crystalline
I'm
creature.
pretty fucking sure he comes back. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he comes back. Maybe it's one of the movies or something where he comes back. But
No, he's not in any of the movies.
Oh, I thought the last movie there's like another Data at one point. I don't know. The show's weird. It's a lot to keep track of, but nonetheless. Then you go back, like I said, to the girl, blah, blah, blah. And then it ends.
Well, as it ends, it zooms out and you find out...
They're in a Borg ship, yeah.
The Romulan Reclamation Center is actually a cube. A Borg cube.
A old cube that has been destroyed that they've taken over. Though destroyed, not as bad as you'd think.
No.
Because I thought most Borg ships upon destruction,
blow the hell up.
Yeah, auto-destruct. But
I think that's just how much damage they do, because, with the Borg, you have to completely destroy them, otherwise they just keep coming.
Yeah. No, I thought it was actually, I could be wrong again, but I thought in the lore of things, to prevent Borg from being captured upon a...
I don't think that the Borg could ever consider them ever to be captured. It's inconceivable to them.
They've been captured a couple times. They're supposed to self-destruct. I was pretty sure. That's why What's-His-Face was so interesting.
Hugh?
Yeah. Because his memory was so messed up and stuff like that, he wouldn't blow up. Because they're supposed to go after their dead. But, again, you could be right. It could just be the mass amount of destruction. For some reason, I thought it was always an auto self-destruct that upon, the destruction of the cube is supposed to blow up so that way, Well,
I mean, the Borg don't think they have enemies.
There's
no race out there until you get to Voyager. There's no race out there that equals them or is stronger than them.
Well, see, you say that, but every single time humans have fucked them over. So, how many times before the Queen would realize that the humans are kind of, she even wants Picard because of the concept that he has fucked them over that many times. So, I don't know. But anyway, so, overall, the show does have promise. I do think it's actually going to be interesting to see where it goes.
The bakers of the show think so. It's already been renewed for a second season.
Yeah. But my biggest problem with at least the first episode is it's unlike any other Star Trek out there.
Yeah.
It deals very little with space, nothing to do with the ship.
Well, not yet, anyway. We'll see if maybe he gets a ship in the next episode.
I don't think it would be a big one. I think it'd just be a little...
Well, I do know from Wikipedia. So, here, from this point, this is going to be another spoiler thing. So, if you have watched the show, you're happy with everything, we'll go with the next little bit, and then after that, I'm going to do a spoiler for what I've read on Wikipedia, and then end it. So, overall, besides the being on the planet for the entire thing, and the kind of the weird little parts here or there, I did like the show. If they stick on the planet for too many more episodes, I think that will drag it out, and I don't think that's going to be fun.
You don't think being on Earth is all that interesting?
No, not really. Though I am confused on what they're going to be doing when, every other Star Trek kind of has had, I think except for Voyager. Every other, I guess Voyager and Deep Space Nine, every other one has had it where they leave the ship more. So this one, they're not going to leave the ship much, I would think anyway. Unless they're going to be pulling, more diplomatic weird things in the between.
I don't think so.
But then the next thing is the fact that they can't pull a Voyager, where, it's you get to know the crew, and it's you get these cute little, scenes between the people, on their off time. It wouldn't really work either.
No,
At least I don't think so.
It's only going to be 10 episodes, so that kind of limits what they can do in the season. So, I know that he gets a ship. I know he gets a crew.
Yeah. Well,
I'm guessing he gets the girl, the sister.
The would make good sense, yeah.
But what do they do after that?
Yeah. So, your thoughts of the show?
There's I think it's interesting that more modern shows are cutting down to 10 episodes per season or half season. And, I mean, that does kind of make it so that it leaves no room for fillers. So it's either going to be good or face plants.
Yeah.
So this one seems like it's leaving a lot of questions to be answered in following episodes. So it's going to be a puzzle to put it all together.
Okay, so, good?
Yep.
Okay, so this now is spoilers from stuff that I've read on Wikipedia and stuff like that. So I've read on Wikipedia that his crew will be at least 2 Romulans, not of his housekeepers.
Yeah.
And if I'm not wrong, which I could be, but I think the one is actually the guy that went to her.
Guy at the end there talking to the sister?
Yes.
Yep.
And
I know at least one of the characters has an addiction problem. That's what it said.
so it seems like it's going to be 2 Romulans, himself, a very small group, dealing with the Romulan threat that, so it's a Romulan civil war.
Yep.
It really seems like it's going to be a Romulan civil war, with Picard leading the helm to it.
Yep.
But I don't know what kind of if he's going to have like a small ship like Tammy says, or if he's going to have like a capital ship. I think it'll be weird.
I think it's going to be like a medium to small ship. Like, he's only going to have a certain amount of crew members. Like, let's say 6 people total, right? So I think he's going to have not a huge ship like the Enterprise or anything like that, but not a shuttle either.
Yeah, it's just going to be weird because it will be the smallest ship we've ever seen.
I could see it being maybe around the size of the Defiant.
Okay. The Defiant is the which one is that?
No, that's off of DS9.
Okay. Oh, you talk about that. Okay. See, I'm thinking
That's
it may
the one with
actually
the
be.
cloaking.
Okay. I can't.
I'm
remember
not saying
too
it
much.
wouldn't necessarily have cloaking, but that's the one that like Worf was always on and
Yeah.
in DS9.
I can't remember it at all. So, but I'm thinking it may be actually roughly about the size of the original Enterprise, which was much smaller as well.
I think the original Enterprise had 200 staff.
Yes,
whereas the Enterprise in Next Gen has a crew of 400.
Maybe less than, or maybe but nonetheless, yeah. So we'll see what happens. But
I would imagine a crew of like 20 to 40.
which I think is actually a typical for Klingons ships.
Yeah, Klingon or Romulan.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if it would be really cool
If it was a Warbird.
if it was actually a Romulan, Enterprise-esque style ship hybrid.
That'd be pretty interesting.
So like a little bit of Earth ships mixed in with Romulan ships, and giving it to a man who basically helped the Romulans out would be pretty cool. But there's also supposed to be from the trailers 7 of 9, and she's supposed to be part of his crew for the most part. But
I don't know if she's going to be part of the crew, but she's definitely going to be in it.
well,
I know that Riker and Deanna are going to have at least a cameo.
Riker's seems like a cameo. Because I've only seen him in the trailers. I've only seen him once, where he basically is telling Picard he'll help him, which I think is going to be the next episode. It's getting him to a ship.
Yeah.
The 7 of 9, I've seen her in the trailers twice. One is she's sitting down, if I'm not wrong, sitting down, playing chess with Data. And the other one is her with like a freaking blaster rifle shooting.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So with the blaster rifle, thought it would be that she's actually helping.
Yeah, it could be.
But anything else? No.
It's too early to speculate.
Okay. So, everyone, engage.
Bye.